to do? If only something new was happening with Plants vs. Zombies. Oh yeah. Plants vs. Zombies Replanted was announced recently, and while I said I was going to wait until it's released to talk about it, I decided to bite the bullet because A, I want money, and B, this is a way to document all my current thoughts and compare to how I feel when the game actually releases. This shouldn't need to be said, but here it is anyway. This is my opinion. You're allowed to like things I dislike. Don't change your opinion because some YouTuber told you so. Another thing worth mentioning, we don't know the full picture of what's in this game. I'm going off the store description on Steam, which seems to include everything, but PopCap may or may not be hiding some secrets. So if there's some hidden mode with the entirety of PvZ2 in it, I didn't know. Before I get to the game, I want to talk about the trailer because there are some things I liked and some I really didn't. Starting with the CGI, it's amazing. You can tell the people behind this really wanted to do the game justice. It all looks incredible. The lighting is great, the models are solid, and the animation is smooth. The team clearly did their homework. There's an Insane Aquarium reference right at the start, which was George Fan's first game for PopCap back in 2001. PvZ originally started as a sequel to that. You can spot the top of the newspaper from PvZ2's E3 trailer framed on a wall, and there's a leaf medal from Garden Warfare 2 hanging in the background. I swear, people have been talking about the CGI just as much as the actual remaster. If that's not a sign to make a PvZ cartoon or something, I don't know what is. Now for the actual trailer. What a letdown. First off, it did a terrible job of informing viewers about what's even in the game. All it told us was that it was in HD and had local play. That's it. My 1-minute video going over all the features got 55,000 views at the time of writing because people didn't know what the hell was in it. 2 out of 7 key features were mentioned. Incredible job, marketing team. Somehow still better than Battle for Neighborvilles. Also, the gameplay part of the trailer felt insanely corporate. They used the exact same format they used for PvZ3 content, and it's just underwhelming. It feels like subtle marketing for PvZ3 wearing the skin of the first game. It doesn't feel like a PvZ1 trailer at all and comes off as incredibly lazy. Where's the zombies on your laundry mix? Where's the moving gradient backgrounds? Where's the get ready to soil your plants? I can't believe I've said this much about a trailer. On to the actual game. So, Replanted is $20. You know what else was $20 at launch? The original Plants vs. Zombies. So let's see what this new version brings to the table to justify being full price again. Experience the original Plants vs. Zombies game, fully remastered and stunning HD graphics. Well, I'd hope so. Not to be an ass, but there are already parts of it that look terrible. First off, the bushes in front of the lawn. I know this was a thing in the console version, but it looked bad then, and it looks bad now. Why are there bushes completely blocking my house from the road? They're even covering the sidewalk. How does anyone get to my front door? Also, this isn't a game mechanic thing, but PopCap or EA or whoever is making this didn't bother contacting the original artists. Scratch that, they didn't even contact anyone who worked on the original. No one knew this was happening, which is a shame because believe it or not, the people who made PvZ actually care about PvZ. I hope I blew your mind. I've seen people trying to defend this, and every time I feel more justified in hating the direction this franchise is going. Did we forget what basic empathy is? I don't care if that's just how the industry works. Rich Warner has every right to be upset. 1/4 of PvZ's success came from the art he spent 4 years on. Art that helped turn PopCap into the juggernaut it once was. Instead of going to the person who literally made most of the art in the game and asking him to help remake it, or even just direct other artists on how to match his style, they handed it off to random people to trace everything in a high resolution. Rich has every right to be pissed. There's also the underlying suspicion they used AI to upscale the art because there's some odd traits like the lawns being incredibly smoothed out with a lot of missing detail compared to the original. No confirmation though. There's multiple graphical errors like repeater missing part of their leaves, every zombie having their tongue out, which was a 25% chance to happen in the original. They remade pea shooter's animations without any easing so it looks off compared to the original. Pole vaulting zombies' y-axis is messed up, resulting in him being centered in a lane rather than walking near the bottom. They somehow messed up zombies' heads popping off, and so on. Fend off waves of zombies in the original lane-based defense mode, now with added bonus levels and new content. Okay, that sounds cool. Could you elaborate on that? No? Great. Bonus levels exist apparently, no details given. If they added new plants and zombies, they 100% would have mentioned it in the marketing, so I'm going to assume they made new minigames from scratch or the limbo page. Team up with a friend in local co-op mode to defend the backyard together, now with 100% more butter. Battle head-to-head in local PvP mode by taking control of the zombies. Local co-op. Local PvP. A game from a AAA publisher releasing in 2025 with multiplayer and no online support. Oh my god. Watching people fight is fun. Add PvZ to the mix and it's even better. People have always wanted a way to play versus mode online. It's one of the most requested features for a hypothetical remaster. Imagine not doing that. Imagine skipping it for the remaster of the most iconic game in your series. Sure, on PC, people might find a way to mod in online servers, but console players are completely screwed. Unlock visual options through the Tree of Wisdom, updated with convenient on-off toggles. Is this seriously a key feature? We made the cheat codes easier to use. That'll be $20. On PC, you typed the codes. On console, you did a weird button combo to open the keyboard.
So to do this, you need to continue and then you press here, I'll show you. LB, RB, LT, RT. And this menu pops up.
Sure, this is a good change, but is this really worthy of being a headliner? It really feels like they were scraping the bottom of the barrel to fill out the features list. Test your skills in Cloudy Day mode, a brand new game feature where sunlight is limited and planting becomes a tactical challenge. What? You lowered sun drop rates. That's it. This doesn't even impact 2 of the worlds. PopCap. PopCap. This is $20. Survive in our brand new hardcore mode. Rest in peace. A permadeath option for adventure where one mistake could send you right back to the beginning. How is this innovative? We reset your progress when you lose. That's it. In an interview, the head of PopCap called it a roguelike, but none of the stores describe it that way. That's a pretty important detail to leave out, so I'm assuming he just worded his sentence poorly. And finally, explore a new art and concept library, featuring never-before-seen pre-production sketches in game history. I'd really like to know what never-before-seen art they're talking about, because not even the original artist knows. Nearly everything from PvZ1 has been already shared by George Fan, Rich Warner, or through the art of Plants vs. Zombies. Unless they're saying it's never seen before, for the hell of it, nobody has a clue what they supposedly have. That's a cool feature, but I wouldn't be nitpicking it so much if the other features weren't so underwhelming. To really sweeten the deal, they're offering a retro pea shooter skin as a pre-order bonus. A retro pea shooter skin. Embrace nostalgia with a retro pea shooter skin. Yes, nostalgia, because this pixel art version of a character from a game that never had pixel art is so nostalgic. You know what would have made sense? Using the design from the DS port. That version used pixel art due to hardware limits. That would have actually hit some of us with nostalgia. It's literally more work to make new art than to reuse art from a real port of the game. You don't even have to dig that hard, it's on the PvZ wiki. PopCap already pulls renders from there anyway, so no need to start caring now. And of course, I pre-ordered it anyway, because I have no judgment and I'm part of the problem with society. The existence of skins is already concerning, and it wouldn't surprise me if they added DLC or some other monetization down the line. I don't want to come off as hating on PopCap just for doing something new. The thought does count, I guess, but when you're charging full price for a remaster of a 16-year-old game, and all you've done is port the console version, upscale the textures with plenty of errors, make some bonus levels, add a couple of minor quality of life changes, 2 modes that are barely new in the slightest, and a collection of PNGs for $20, that's absurd. There's no way to justify this price point. At best, it should be something like $12. If they had included online, sure, but based on what we know right now, it's just plain disappointing. I wasn't expecting much because it's modern PopCap, but even then it's lower than my low standards. Feel free to whine in the comments and start wars over this, I won't be reading them. If you do want online, go to the Dead EA forums and boost my post asking for it. It's been up for over a week and has 10 times the engagement of any other Replanted post. Even if nothing happens, it'd be hilarious. If PopCap had to acknowledge the fans and then do nothing, I'd really keep up the tradition of pretending to care alive and well. Of course, I could be proven wrong when it releases, but the only positive thing I've said at all in this video was complimenting part of the trailer. If you think Replanted is worth $20, then I'm not going to shame you for it. I'll disagree, but that's fine. I can understand why you'd think the price is justified if you want to play it on the go on your Nintendo Switch 2 in HD instead of the crummy laptop you got for Thanksgiving on sale. As a person that's played nearly every version of PvZ1 on Earth, the lack of effort put into Replanted disappoints me. A game like Plants vs. Zombies with such a huge legacy and impact on the world should be treated better with much more respect. But after all that rambling, thanks for watching. I don't really have some big message to say at the end of this, but we hit 60,000 subscribers not too long ago, so I guess this is my 60k special. I'd like to say thank you everyone for getting me to such big numbers now. Have a good day and hi PVZ Reddit.